Can I lay out what I'm hooking a bit of analytical hope on? The Harris campaign is doing much more when it comes to what we in the campaign world call the ground game. The phone calls and the sending postcards, knocking on doors. The Harris campaign is doing way more and is way more organized about the ground game than the Trump campaign. In aggregate, the Harris campaign is about 3 times larger than the Trump campaign. They're outspending the Trump campaign when it comes to the ground game by about 4 to 1. And the Trump campaign has made a pretty curious decision to outsource their field efforts, which is the more technical term for it in campaigns, to Turning Point USA Action, which is Charlie Kirk's organization, grift, whatever you want to call it. I used to have a shorthand rule of thumb when it came to running campaigns. If you are vastly out ground gaming the other side by a margin of 2 to 1, 3 to 1, it might pick you up between 1 and 3 percentage points. This year, that might be actually a very relevant number. There's a lot of evidence that Donald Trump is relying way more than Kamala Harris on low propensity to turn out voters. Earlier this summer, when it was Trump against Biden, actually Biden was in the lead among people who had voted in 2020. Trump's lead was built on people who hadn't voted last time or had never voted at all. And therefore, who knows about their likelihood of turning out? That's where your ground game really matters in getting those people to the polls.
Certainly the field operations with the Harris campaign, at least in my state, are much stronger than the Trump campaign. The RNC was taken over by Trump, and the field staffers in certain states, including my own in New Hampshire, were completely decimated. There is no operation for ground in New Hampshire by the Trump campaign. I will tell you, I live at a tourist beach, or of the 20 houses, I think it is, on my street, 2 of us actually vote in the state of New Hampshire. And I have had three Kamala Harris canvassers come to my home, and there's not even a Democrat in my house. 3 visits, and none from any Republicans. My understanding is that the ground game's been pulled from almost every single swing state.
Help me understand why he or some of his people would not say, okay, we need to reach those people personally, i.e. a field operation or ground game. Why would he outsource it? And why wouldn't they go all in on a field operation?
When Laura Trump took over the RNC, they, within a matter of weeks, fired the vast majority of field operations. It became, to Matt's point, a grift source for Donald Trump and his legal fees. And that's what the RNC absolutely shifted and pivoted to do. They eliminated ground game in the United States of America. And a lot of us in certain states, because we're concerned about something other than the presidency, that because it means they also took any efforts for Congress or governor or anything else in our states, sounded the alarm. And no one cared because it was strictly centralizing the campaign of Donald Trump. So what happens? They don't know how to do a ground game. They go to Turning Point USA. The RNC's not doing it. State parties aren't doing it because they have no money. All money is being funneled to Donald Trump in some capacity.
There are 2 types of voters that you care about as a campaign. There are people who are likely to vote, but may not be with you. They're kind of in the middle, and you want to try to persuade them. And then there are people who are with you, but may not vote. And it's really in that middle ground on both of those dimensions that you want to operate as a campaign. By the time you hit this point in the campaign, 3 weeks to go, it is all get out the vote. It is all mobilization. And what you're looking for is that dimension of people who you are pretty confident are with you, but are only somewhat likely to vote. And that's where what you find is you've really got to touch people. The further down the scale they are on likelihood of voting, the more touches you need on people, the more reminders, the more knocks at the door, the more postcards. And if you're much better targeted, because there's so much data management that goes into this. So if you really know the right people to talk to and you have experienced folks leading it, I think there is an advantage there that could amount to a winning margin.